I'm now with Trevor Pyman on the Ginetta Owners Club stand. Good afternoon.
Hello,
Trevor,
good afternoon.
and welcome to the Classic Motor Show 2024.
Thank you, thank you.
Right, can we have a little bit of history on some of these cars, starting with this one here?
Okay, well this is a 1973 Ginetta G21. The G21 was Ginetta's real attempt to hit the market held by TVR and Lotus, people like that with the Elan. It's a very, very complete car in terms of its competency of build. It's got a 1725cc Sunbeam Rapier engine. This is the whole bay version, which Ginetta also did.
I never knew that. I never knew they used the Sunbeam engine.
Yeah, with the gearbox and overdrive as well. Very nice cruising car, very well screwed together. They sold at a competitive price. Ginetta really were looking at MGB and Triumph GT6 owners at that time, and they were a little bit disappointed that it didn't go better, because unfortunately it was launched at the same time as the 3-day week and all the financial crisis of the 1970s, so it didn't sell as well as they'd hoped. But those that have got them today, including myself, and I've had mine for, I don't know, 45 years, hang on to them forever. I think the owner of this car's had it for well over 30 years.
So, can we talk about the one over there, the light blue one?
Yeah, now that's actually a continuation car, but it's a Ginetta G10. Ginetta built a handful of these, designed for the American market, with a 4.7 litre Ford V8 engine in it, and independent rear suspension. Very, very fast car, very, very quick, both on the road and on the track.
You can see the power bulge there.
Well, that's right. It won first time out at Brands Hatch in 1965 with Chris Meek driving against competition E-types and Ferraris, etc. It's a very, very quick car.
Well, you wouldn't think it. It's only that gives us away, that bulge in the bonnet,
right,
isn't it?
Well, they also did a version which was more for the UK market. This was designed really for the American market. It looked much the same, but it had an MGB engine and live rear axle. This car, they only built a handful. It was designed really to try and beat the AC Cobra and some of the TVRs, like the TVR Griffiths on the American circuits. But the American importer, there was a bit of bother there, and at the end of the day, they didn't really sell very many. This one's a continuation car. Some bodies were built, and this one was assembled exactly to match the originals. Yeah.
So what about the red Ginetta G15?
Well, for the early years of Ginetta, let's say pre-1990, the G15 was their best-selling model. It's fitted with an 875cc Sunbeam Impsport engine originally, although a lot of them now have got 998 engines or even bigger. But it's incredibly light, very agile, and although 875cc doesn't sound much, with 55 brake horsepower, it's really quite an interesting car. To drive them, they're like a little go-kart, to be honest.
Well, there was a lot raced, wasn't there?
There was a lot raced. Barry Wood won I think it was the 1972 Mod Sports Championship with one. A guy called Trevor Moffat won the Production Cars Trial National Championship with it. And perhaps the biggest of all in terms of, well, not the biggest, but the most interesting of all was Alison Davis won the 1979 Prod Sports Championship with one, and she's the first, possibly the only woman ever to win a national championship.
I think she was in the programme. They had something about her in the programme, I think.
Probably, yeah. I didn't write that, so I can't say.
So what about this one here?
Well, this is a Ginetta G26. We brought this onto the stand this year because it's 40 years since the G26 was launched, which obviously corresponds with your show this year. Again, incredibly competent car. It's got a steel chassis. This one's got a galvanised chassis, which accepts full Cortina parts. They bolt straight in. So basically, if you had a Cortina, you take all its mechanical parts out, you can bolt it straight into that. This particular car is really interesting because it was bought in 1985 by its first purchaser as a complete body chassis unit, but he never built it. And it was only put together as a car about 5 years ago. And although it's now registered and ready for the road, I don't think it's actually been used on the road yet from new. So there you go, 40 years.
65 number plate.
Yeah, that's right. So the G26, I built the first one actually, the first car they sold in 1985, or end of 1984, and used it as a family car for 5 or 6 years, and then I used it as a business car for about another 7 or 8 years. Very, very usable, very, very competent car, you know, sort of car you take anywhere.
Yeah. So the last one is the yellow one over there in the corner.
Yep, well that's a G33. It's got fitted with a Rover V8 engine and gearbox. The 33 was built in Ginetta, was originally started by 4 brothers called the Warclub brothers, who ran the company through to 1989. And then one of them stayed on a little bit longer, Ivor Warclub, with the new management run by Martin Pfaff. And he, along with his nephew Mark Warclub, designed that shortly after it had been taken over by Martin Pfaff and a team. And it's really a big boy's Ginetta G4, which was one of the earliest models of Ginetta. It's really quick, obviously. Again, very light with a 3.9 V8 engine and independent rear suspension. Sold mainly on the UK market, but there are quite a few export ones as well. A few were exported to Europe with the Ford Sierra Cosworth 2-litre engine in them as well.
Really?
Yeah, you can imagine what they go like.
Yeah, I won't say it.
Yeah,
It's a family show.
yeah, quite.
Well, thanks very much, Trevor.
Okay.
That's great. Thanks
Nice
very
to
much.
meet you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah.